packing for Europe is moving along, but I'm doing something really different this time. I noticed that my shoulders were getting really tight. I was starting to feel kind of irritable. And in the past, over and over again, the way that I approached this kind of experience was to just keep barreling through, not listening to my body and definitely listening to the story that I don't have enough time to take care of myself. But that story is a lie. That story is the reason I became bedridden with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's important that I don't overload my system right before I get on a flight, fly across the world, deal with the jet lag. And it's also important that I don't overwhelm my system because that's not kind to me. That's not a kind thing to do to my body doing such great work for me. So I came out to the garage. I have this spiky foam roller. I roll my back and neck across it, and while I do that, I go, and I just release whatever is inside of me. And then I get back up and I go do the things. And instead of doing them in pain and overwhelm, I'm doing them from a place inside myself.
Ride your bike up to the school to see what teachers you got this year? Okay, well, when you do, make sure you grab the school supply list. Hey, I just got their back to school emails. Wow, there's a lot. Okay, welcome back. Yada, yada. Your school supply lists include everything you...
On that note, about the whole broken school thing, just want to say, love teachers, totally understand individuals in the system showing up, kicking ass. So happy for all of you. This is not what this is about, okay? We can criticize the brokenness of the system and not be talking about your individual efforts. And we need to be talking more about the brokenness of the system. Here's a little story for you. This is when I learned how to clarify what I want to participate in. A friend of mine was talking about the nature immersion program that happens at our kids' Waldorf school. And she was saying she's in the midst of a lot of really stressful stuff in life. She's one of those parents who already gives way too much. She's like on the board. She's doing the class field trip with me. She's doing literally everything. So she's telling a few of us how she's going to try to make it all work. How she's going to volunteer to be the leader of this nature immersion program, because if she doesn't do it, probably no one else will, and then the whole thing's going to fail. And I, in that moment, thought, let it fail. If we must break our own backs, if we must lose ourselves, if we must sacrifice crucial and necessary aspects of our relationships with our children, our relationships with our partners, our relationships with ourselves. If we must force ourselves to run around like chickens with our heads cut off in order to keep up with everything, that's a broken system. That's a broken way of living. That's not the way to live. We don't live that way by opting out. The sum total of things that we have added to our lives and labeled as necessary within the last 100 years is astounding. Our systems, we can't even recognize it anymore. We've normalized a way of living that is completely unsustainable for our systems, and our health, our bodies and minds are communicating this to us constantly. And instead of questioning that, the brokenness of that, instead, we continue to heap the pressure on ourselves, thinking that we are somehow broken for not being able to keep up in a race that none of us should be running in the first place. Me, I'm from a Mormon family, so I know my ancestral lineage I don't even know how many generations back, on all lines available. And I can tell you that about 4 to 5 generations back, almost everyone in my family line was living in small environments. Often in environments, especially in the American West, where you move out somewhere where maybe you're the only people there. And the only commitments you have in life are the things that you make up for yourselves. And within 4 to 5 generations, we have turned that entirely on its head. It is no wonder that it feels abnormal to try to keep up with so many things. We are not meant to try to do so many things.